Mama's in the living room watching Judge Judy. I'm in the kitchen eating leftover sushi, and she yells, "Oh, girl, you gotta hear this one." A man was arrested for running the theme park, and when they said, "Where's your license?" he said, "My dog ate it." Oh, you can't make this shit up. Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout, "Girl, you gotta hear this one." Mama loves to laugh at how absurd life is, says it's all a comedy and I'm her audience. And I love the way she makes fun of the world. She said, "You'll never guess what's true with their girlfriend. It was a man who didn't get us out of the bed. He said, I've been through hell and now I need some help. You just can't make this shit up. You just can't make this shit up." Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout, "Girl, you gotta hear this one."
Hey guys, I know most of you have, but I have not checked in on Hales in a couple of weeks. And in the last 2 days, including today, because a new document dropped in Federal 1 from Judge Belatho. We'll get to that one first because it's the one everybody's kind of been waiting for. But I have not paid much attention to anything involving this case in about 2 weeks. And I think I kind of like that because I'm back to paying attention to what matters to me. The drama doesn't matter to me. What matters is the court case, because that's always what interests me, is the court cases. We have been covering other things. If you haven't checked it out, we've been doing a weekly series every Thursday on Iran, mostly women's rights and why are all the feminists suddenly quiet when actual women are and have actual oppression. Yeah, the hypocrisy is deafening. However, we are going to get into all the new docs today. But first things first, for those of you who know me and know they don't sponsor this channel, although I do have a discount code and I'm now an affiliate, my F-bomb. What I put on my skin is very important to me because, well, it's just our skin is our largest organ. However, I've always told you guys, ever since I've been obsessed with this, that it's good for calluses. Mostly my calluses from the gym. Well, today we're really about to put this to the test because your girl kind of ripped her skin today, doing some toes to, well, what are supposed to be toes to bar, which is look like a kip swing and me flailing my legs, but beside the point. So I will let you know exactly how this works on skin tears within the next 24 to 48 hours because your girl is hurting right now. Hurting. All right. And I do have, if you go to thetellthetruth.com and use the promo code SQUID, you get 15% off. I'm obsessed. And I usually don't obsess about anything. You just proved exercise is bad for you. Oh, and before we get started, we're going to say hi to the chat because I saw a couple comments in here that I wanted to respond to. This one, DR to most and Gail talking about squid is very time correct. Here's the thing. In the military, you learn and it is forever ingrained in you that on time is late. Early is on time, and on time is late. So forever in my mind, I have, oh my God, you can't be late by more than like a minute. And usually I'm sitting here. I just haven't hit the live because I'm like organizing tabs so my brain doesn't short circuit. But on time is late. So I try not to be late. Also, the more on time I am, the better we can get back or quicker we can get into these things. Some of you have seen these documents, some of you may not have. Um, However, the one that dropped today, I don't think anybody has seen yet. Maybe not. Maybe not. But this is Federal 1, and we're going to start with that first. And Kasha, thanks for being a member for 11 months. Sending love to you and Mr. Squid and Baby Squid. Thank you. That I love expert. Then that checks. But we are going to get started with the Federal 1 document first, document 182, that I have not read. However, it is an order from the judge. So we are going to get started with that. Hey, screenshot this. Yeah, it's the on time is late and hurry up and wait. Yep, document 182 in Federal 1. So this is the original case that is just for Lynette and John. But this is also the one where Bubble Brain is facing sanctions. So we'll see what he has to say. Order, this matter is before the court on plaintiff's motion to disqualify, document 180. In the motion, plaintiff argues that the undersigned should be disqualified from presiding over this case. Federal law requires a judge to disqualify himself in any proceeding in which his impartiality might reasonably be questioned. 28 U.S. Code 455A. He's got a footnote. We know how this judge is with footnotes. Post and Telltale. Can we put a shirt on first? You will see me or turn off my camera occasionally because the little is having a day where we're not feeling so hot. And instead of ruining more clothing, we're just not wearing any clothing. So you will see me mute as soon Oh, you want that dress? Okay, we can put that dress on. Please. Yes, ma'am. You can put your princess dress on. Ready? There we go. Princess dress it is. Okay. Whoop. Right here. Good girl. I love you. You go get the Telltale. No. Thank you for your patience. Mom first, YouTuber second. I love you guys, but she will always be my pride and joy and forever and always be more important. I love that the little says no. Yeah, it's cute, isn't it? Feel free to send any Starbucks cash to help pay that Pacer bill. Yeah. Also, this girl's working on getting a new laptop because mine is like my laptop is like 12 years old, and we're trying to work out on the couch and out of the office and do some things and record some other things, and it makes it really hard when you have a computer that will not cooperate. Mommy. Yes. It's Mommy you. Yeah. Mommy you. Yes, because I text that phone about an hour ago. All right. I forget, in Fed document 136 or 139 is BBB is first for this. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, I know people hate the judge. It's your prerogative to hate whoever you want. However, it's one of those situations where Bruce did this first, and I'm fully convinced if both sides hate you as a judge, you're doing something right. I'm just saying. But that's another fine line that Belaytha was walking with Fed too, because Bruce has already tried this dismissal thing and he whines about everything. So it's like, yes, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, but like, it's just, yeah. But Hinkle speaks in the orders and stuff that we're talking about today, and y'all can see why I think Hinkle is a dick. A no nonsense kind of dick. All right. An allegation of bias is sufficient to require disqualification under Section 455. Must demonstrate that the alleged bias is personal as opposed to judicial in nature. And that's always what I've had a problem with, is people say they don't like him, but it's always been about personal matters, more of a situation than his legal stuff. I personally don't hate the judge. It appears he ran out of gas dealing with this mess. Yes. Hello. Oh, hey, Frank. Just dropping by to say hello. Hope to see y'all after surgery. Take care. Message me if you need anything, okay? You know how to get a hold of me, and if you don't, I have my email on my page. I'm on Discord too. So, yes, there's 82 people here and only 35 likes. And I know because this is a Hales stream, there's going to be like 4 or 5 dislikes at the minimum. But for the other 75 of you, can we fix it? Case law, Northern District of Georgia from 1990. A motion for disqualification generally should not be predicated on the judge's rulings in the instant case or in related cases, nor on a demonstrated tendency to rule any particular way, nor on a particular judicial leaning or attitude derived from his experience on the bench. A judge's expressions of frustration with counsel also do not constitute personal bias sufficient to warrant recusal. Christo v. Paget, 11th Circuit, 2000. It would be my understanding that Belaytha chose that case law very carefully. That, to me, says just because you hate me and you hate my rulings and you hate how I do things doesn't make me biased, and shut the fuck up. In my opinion, that's a slap in the face, and the judge being snarky. Professionally snarky, if that makes sense. So getting back to his footnote, judges routinely preside over motions for their own recusal. Interesting. Plaintiff's motion fails to satisfy the standard required for disqualification. The timing of the motion shortly after an opinion by the undersigned recommending dismissal of claims plaintiff has brought in a related lawsuit shows what is happening here. That was my whole point. Whether you think the judge is being biased or not, dropping that motion a day or two after, I don't remember the exact timing, sue me. To me, looked like retaliation. Whether it was or not, I cannot be sure because I do not talk to Randy and I don't talk to Jeremy. However, the appearance, remember how we talk about appearance is 9/10 of the law, or possession is 9/10 of the law? When you appear to be retaliating, if you had a problem with the judge, you should have put that shit in months ago, not the day after he dismisses your claims. Like I said, it doesn't it does not, yeah. And that's my point. That's one of the reasons it makes me seem, or it makes me look at this as a microcosm of greater society.
No, I try.
No, you're going to get your hands all dirty. There you go.
No, I try.
No, you don't try. Usually I love when you try, but no, not this time. It's a microcosm of the greater society because there's a certain figure who both sides tend to have issues with. And if both sides don't like you, you probably are doing something on the right track. Because, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if it makes you feel better, Squid, Jeremy said something about not liking the judge. So with their wanting to get him removed by Jeremy not liking him, they must be doing something right. It's just, yeah. Yeah, I've always thought Fed 2 was too complicated. I wanted to see justice, but I knew Fed 2 had issues. I also thought, well, here's my thing. I didn't know how big the issues were until I read the motion for dismissal. But when you have that many and that complicated of a case, you kind of got to be on your, on your A game. And when you have this many lawsuits spread out over 3 jurisdictions, a minimum of 4 jurisdictions, because you have Ohio, but Randy's not in Ohio. So Randy specifically, Levy County, Orange County, in the Northern District of Florida. When you have that many, when you are spread that thin, I don't believe anything gets your A game. It's one of the reasons that, like, on a much smaller scale, obviously a much smaller scale. However, on a much smaller scale, I've cut down my live streaming on this channel so that I can focus on the other one. And then I can bring better content because I'm not trying to do everything all the time. That's a fair point. However, from what I've seen from covering other cases and actually seeing bad judges, he's not one of them. I don't like all of his rulings either, but hey, Mspire, thanks for being a member for 14 months. Squid, it's 3:50 a.m. Why am I not asleep? Your guess is as good as mine, but I went out into the dining room this morning at 1 o'clock in the morning, reached down to unplug my phone charger because I have a battery backup charger that I use. It's a beastie charger. I'm in love with it. I can charge my phone like 8 times before I have to recharge that. Well, I came face to face with a big ass spider this morning at 1 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep either. So, realistically, singling out that recommendation as a cause is false given the number of points brought up in the recusal motion. There were dozens of points. I haven't read either. I don't know if it's addressed. That's a good point too. However, I just... Judge Hinkle and Belatho cannot seem to even keep facts straight in either case. Well, guess what? If no offense to you, this is not directed towards you in any way. However, if a judge cannot keep the facts straight in a case, that comes down to the writings and the filings in that case, on both sides, on all sides. And if you can't articulate the facts where a judge can understand them, a judge is going to dismiss that shit and tell you to refile it. It's not the judge's responsibility to articulate the facts. It's the lawyer's job. And if the judge still can't understand it, then your case has a fundamental issue. Yeah, I am fully on. See, and here's my thing. It's not that I don't think Jeremy has a valid point. However, I'm wondering if it's a man thing where you can't finish one thing before you start a new one. And I understand wanting revenge too. Trust me, I'm the queen of petty. However, However, you have to finish one problem before you open up a new can of worms. And this is something I will this is a hill I will die on. There's too many loose ends right now. There's too many things and open wounds, so to speak. You have to finish one problem before you start another. And I totally think that Jeremy has points. I do. It's not that I don't think Jeremy has a case. However, when you have cases in multiple jurisdictions with the same lawyer, the quality decreases. When someone is spread too thin, the quality decreases. It's just a fact of life. So when you have all of these cases open and none of them are finished, finish one, or at least get one past the point of no return before you open a new can of worms. Because there is no statute of limitations on that I'm aware of on business torts. There is no statute of limitations on defamation. So it's not like any of these things have to be rushed. I just think there's too much at once. And I've said that from the very beginning. So it's just, just because a party suffers an adverse ruling, it does not provide that party with a basis for seeking disqualification. I can just tell when writing this judge is pissed. This judge is pissed. Nothing the court has said or done in this case has resulted from a personal bias against a party that stems from an extrajudicial source. Stating for a bias to be personal and therefore disqualifying, it must stem from an extrajudicial source. The sanctions hearing that plaintiff relies on in his motion to disqualify occurred nearly 11 months before the motion was filed. And the motion to disqualify was filed on the same day as plaintiff's objections to the undersigned's opinions recommending dismissal of claims in the related case. Plaintiff also sought to disqualify the undersigned from the related case, and that motion was denied by the presiding district judge. I mean, Belay was not wrong in this. Yeah, if the judge can't understand the file documents, how are you going to put it in front of a jury? King Bob, how are you? So good to see you. And Empire, thanks for the $5. He needs to reel in all the court cases. Too many fingers ruins the pie. Yeah, it's almost like, I don't know. It's just when you get spread too thin, things crack easier. I mean, it's not that I don't think Jeremy has points. I get it, but finish one thing, and I joke that it has to be a man thing because my stepdad was like that when I was younger. Start one project, not finish it, not see it through to completion, and start something else, and then you have 6 projects that you're working on all at the same time, and they might get done, but they all suck. Nothing is the quality that it would have if you can put your time and attention on one at a time. The fact that its court expressed frustration with plaintiff's counsel for the way that this case has been litigated does not provide a basis for disqualification. Yeah, this is the most, not even Sarah Boone was this shit show. Yeah, we've all watched what went down. Also, Hinkle brings up a really good point in one of his motions about that we're going to get into, but we see a bunch of stuff that happens on Facebook and YouTube and behind the scenes. The judge does not. The judge doesn't give a flying F what the hell happens on a YouTube live stream. Yeah. Hey, King Bob, thanks for being a member for 17 months. Glad to be here. I'm okay. Could be better. I hope your pain is okay today. I'm gotta do some elbow scraping. Hi, beautiful. You have The teleface. Oh, thank you. Here. One more spoonful and that's it, okay? Okay. One more spoonful and nothing till after dinner, okay, baby? Okay. You're welcome. Bye. Ugh. Ugh. All right. In Evergreen, finding that judges' admonishments of counsel did not warrant disqualification, even if some of the admonishments were immoderate. Another case stating that the judge's expressions of frustration did not warrant recusal, or put another way, generally clashes between court and counsel are insufficient basis for disqualification. Yeah. Like I said, you don't have to agree with me, but like, just because you don't hate the timing of that, and Belatho brings it up, and whether he should have brought other things, this is only a 4-page order, whether it should have been 6 to 8 pages and he should have put other things in there, possibly. However, the undertone from following his writings from the very beginning, he is pissed. He is pissed, and I don't blame him, because fucking reading this shit is hard. Like, and having a background from the YouTube side helps you understand the facts of the case a little bit more. The judge doesn't have that. Judge doesn't have it. Plaintiff's motion argues the court is biased because it had disciplined misconduct by plaintiff's counsel, but it has not disciplined misconduct by defendant's formal counsel, although that provides no basis for disqualification. The court would note that it has already made clear that the misconduct for defendant's formal counsel would be addressed. It has not been addressed yet because this case is and has been stayed. Thank you. I'm glad the judge finally fucking said it, and I wish he would have done it earlier. However, didn't I say last summer that whenever it was stayed, that he will not sanction Bruce while the case is stayed? He will not sanction Bruce. I screamed it from the fucking rooftops to the point where I pissed people off and they rage quit because they were so fucking mad at me that I said that. Well, guess what? It has not been addressed yet because the case is and has been stayed. He will not address it until the case is not on a stay. How many fucking times did I have to say it? And well, you're not a lawyer, you don't know. Well, you're not Jeremy's lawyer, you don't know. Blah, blah, blah. Look, the judge fucking said it himself. I wish he would have said it 11 months ago. However, July, whenever the fucking bankruptcy hit and the case got stayed, I literally said that. And y'all were rage baiting and rage quitting and fucking I'm stupid and I'm this and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I would like an apology. Just kidding. Oh, yeah. Hey, Venom. Are you committing those felonies reading court documents again? Yeah. It was October-ish when it started to get nasty. But, Jeffrey, you've been here the whole time. I literally said it. Well, Steven, you do too, and you're really, really lucky that you're still on this channel. However, my makeup might not be working, but even without makeup, I'm Cindy Crawford compared to you. Love you. Yes, I do agree with this, that I wish he would have mentioned it sooner, but I feel like I mentioned it sooner and people told me I was dumb. So I apologize that you are stupid. Yeah, that's like one of my mother-in-law's apologies. I'm sorry. It's not your fault. That's just the way God made you. It's because, let's be honest here, it's because I'm not friends with anybody. I like people. I but I'm not, this is not the, like I call up someone on a Friday night and we go out for a drink, or like, yes, some creators I will talk to on Discord for hours and hours at a time. Those are more of my friends, but nobody who is a party in this case is a friend of mine. I don't regularly contact. Actually, I think the last time that I ever contacted anybody that is a party to this case and had any contact with them was December or January of 2025. Other than that, it was an email saying, please take my screenshot off and do not ever do that again. So, however, Southern compliments are my favorite phrases. She was saying that to her daughter, my sister-in-law. Mr. Squid's brother's wife is who she was apologizing to because she called her a pussy. And when she was supposed to be apologizing, her apology was, "I'm sorry, it's not your fault. That's just the way God made you." You say that to your son's wife. That's ballsy. And lucky my sister-in-law is a better woman than me. My mother-in-law one time said to me, "You really calm Mr. Squid down." And I was like, "No, he calms me down." She looked at me. And y'all can see when I get fired up why this is me calm. This is me calm. Oh, snipe with the dad jokes. Yeah, apologies require sincerity, otherwise it's a slap in the face. Yeah, hers was an extreme slap in the face, which is why she doesn't even know that she has a second. Yep. Karma does, the wheels of justice do turn slowly, and karma she's a slow beast, but she keeps receipts. All right. So it has not been addressed yet because this case is and has been stayed, and courts generally do not issue substantive orders directing people to do things in cases that are stayed. That is the meaning of a stay. Nothing happens. The case is paused. See Black's Law Dictionary, 8th edition, 2004. Belitho, you need to, Belitho, you need to update yourself because we're at the 12th edition here. We're at the 12th edition. But it's one of those situations like nothing happens on a stay. Nothing happens on a stay, unfortunately, which sucks. Because I would have loved to see him get his karma. However, I understood that nothing happens on a stay. I wish the judge would have said it last summer, but at the same time, I'm finally glad he said it. And thank you, Debbie Baker, for the $15 Cash App. You are very, very much appreciated, and I hope you are doing well. All right. Defining stay as the postponement or halting of a proceeding. In any event, sanctions are routinely imposed at the end of litigation for conduct that occurred earlier in the litigation. And once again, the only reason Brandy got sanctioned was because he actually showed up to a hearing where he knew he was going to be sanctioned. When it says bring your checkbooks, although I don't agree with the way the judge phrased it, although it was funny, that generally means you were going to be sanctioned, bring your checkbook. If Bruce would have done that, he would have gotten the exact same punishment as Randy. Probably, maybe a little more. Randy had 2 motions. Bruce, I believe, had like 4 that were possibly on the chopping block for sanctions. However, not showing up for a hearing where you know you're going to be sanctioned is a big deal. So it's not something that also happens overnight. It's not, like I always said, the monetary, what Randy got was like a speeding ticket. You messed up, here's your fine, pay your fine, you're good to go. Bruce's conduct of not showing up for a required federal hearing requires a little bit more substance than a check. Authorizing sanctions to be imposed at the end of litigation for conduct that occurred earlier. And it doesn't have to be, and the judge doesn't have to expressly say that. However, I think he would have calmed, well, once again, he doesn't care about YouTube, so, yeah. But I think it would have calmed Randy's issue if he would have said this earlier. So, because plaintiff's motion fails to provide any basis for disqualification, it is denied. Yeah, he could have, but it's also a fine line when the person that you're giving sanctions to in Fed 1 is a defendant in Fed 2 and has already tried to have you recused for bias. That would be the appearance of bias. Even though it's warranted, you got to think, if Judge Belaytho wasn't the second or wasn't on Fed 2, I think that might have happened, or that was more likely to happen. I don't know. All right, so that is the first issue we'll talk about because it was the most recent. However, why do I have? Oh crap! I didn't realize I still had that open. Got to close that before I get sidetracked with another document. All right, we have the bankruptcy. We're going to get to that one first because Lord knows the bankruptcy is what's freaking up everything else. Let's see. Bankruptcy. Lynette's bankruptcy. Where are you? There we go. Lynette bankrupt. I used to have this titled as like morally bankrupt. So it was funny to me, but then it got lost. So I changed the name and now I can't find it. All right. This is the first one we will go to. And it would be great if StreamYard could get their shit together and actually have like a good place where I can upload all these documents at once. It's still my criticism of StreamYard, and they still haven't fixed it. Hey, Rickles, thanks for being a member for 11 months. Disagreeing with mutual respect. Who'da thunk? Florida Flipper, yes, but didn't Belaytho have from April to July to issue sanctions? However, back in April or May, I went through, remember, this isn't monetary sanctions. The judge has to go through multiple things to figure out exactly what his course of action is, as well as talking to Hinkle and probably more judges to find out what his options are. Because of the fact if you overstep your bounds, he can appeal the sanctions, and you don't want to be known as the judge who gets their decisions overturned. However, you also don't want to sanction him too lightly. There's a fine line, but even the Northern District of Florida rules are 80 some pages. So there's hundreds of pages to read, and this isn't Belaytho's only case. So the fact that he has multiple cases that he's overseeing all at once, in addition to having to read hundreds of pages. What happened? What happened, baby? What happened? Are you okay? Okay. So it's a fine line, but I have a problem reading like 20 pages in a day and actually comprehending what I'm reading, be it I have brain damage. So think about having to read a couple hundred pages, comprehend what you're doing, in addition to overseeing a minimum of 10 to 15 cases. it's a complicated situation, which takes time. Remember, wheels of justice don't turn, the wheels of justice turn very slowly. And Chasing Amy, thanks for the $9.99 super chat. Squid is the only channel on either side to truthfully explain court documents without bias. Thanks for having Paul's. XOXO, I usually lurk, but always listen. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. And like I said, I just try to be me.
Hi, Daddy. Daddy.
You got a dress on? Really on this.
Hey, Mom. And if you think if you think that I am just like this on the internet, ask this lady right here if I am like this in real life. The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Yeah, remember LPU's petition for bankruptcy then was set aside, then refiled. Pause started with the first bankruptcy filing. That is true too. I don't remember exactly when the first filing was. My timeline is all confused. You know. All right. This is bankruptcy. All right. Order denying debtor's motion to enforce the automatic stay and for damages pursuant to 11 U.S. Code 362. This case came before the court for a hearing on February 10th upon debtor's motion to enforce the automatic stay and for damages. Creditor Jeremy Hales' response in opposition to debtor's motion to enforce the automatic stay and for damages. And debtor's reply to creditor Jeremy Hales' response in opposition. Having considered the motion, response and reply, having heard argument of counsel, and having reviewed the applicable case law for the reasons announced in open court at the hearing, it is ordered debtor's motion to enforce the automatic stay and damages is denied. Sorry, Lynette, you lose. You lose this one. No. So, and hey, Sebastian, how are you? All right. And that was Karen's, I don't want to mess that name up. It looks easy to pronounce, but, you know, that's just me. So, Judge Karen. All right. So that takes care of the bankruptcy. And I really don't have much to say about that because literally, like, the freaking motion to enforce the automatic stay was stupid. It was to me, was like a last ditch effort, throwing spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. It was just, it was, yeah. Squid is not a fake person. She tells it like it is, even to her mama. I'm surprised she hasn't slapped me. I'm 40 years old, and like last Sunday, I'm pretty sure she wanted to slap me when we were having a conversation. But all I can say is, with something happened this week that let's just say we're glad Mr. Squid is handling it, because if I were to handle it, I'd need bail money. I'd be grifting for bail money. Just saying. All right. Wait, you're a sailor, you slap back. Well, you know. Oh, and Heidel, I gotta open up my my studio here, because I have to pin that to the rest of the or the top of the comment. I did link that, or Heidel pinned or said that, oh, English is hard. And people wonder why I don't speak multiple languages. I have a hard enough time with English. Heidel put the link to the Tallow Truth in the chat. I have pinned it to the top of the chat, and I will also drop it in the description of the video, and it is also in my link tree. I got a comment this morning asking for me to put it in the description of the video, and I've since updated my link tree in addition to putting it in the video in the description so that the people who want it can easily find it. And that is very much appreciated. I love that stuff. Englishing is dynamic. I heard a comment yesterday that, or read a comment yesterday that English is hijacked. We just hijacked a little bit of everybody else's languages and made it our own. All right, so let's get started with 73. I wrote down which ones were first so that I could keep my brain straight. Like I said, y'all know me. I always have notebooks. I have 2 here, 1 there, and 1 there. I find English is easier than French. I took German in school, and I just sound like I'm pissed when I'm trying to speak German. It's not good. This is the first one. It's super quick, straight to the point. Lisa, you're not having a good day either. You are denied. Defendant Lisa Lee's request for judicial notice, document 168, is denied. And this is by Hinkle. Hey, Gary, how are you? See you, Heather. Ugh. I've been following from the beginning, but I feel like Hales could have done things differently. I feel like he wants the drama for content. At this point, like, I don't really, and that's the reason I stepped back from it, was because, one, I have other things to cover. We do have a Tyler Robinson hearing next week. I'm very interested in we are covering the Iran conflict, but not from the conflict side. We're covering it from the women's rights and what's actually going on. Next week will be all these social media responses from not only Iranians on social media, but people who can't find Iran on a map. So we talk other things. We have updates in multiple Florida cases, all that. What is Lisa's filing? I don't understand it. She filed a motion. I will open it up. Let's see. 168. I just have to, I really need to start wearing my glasses. 168. I have to go into my, I didn't download it because I didn't think it was worthy of paying for. However, she filed a notice or judicial notice. Let's see, document 168. In this case, I really didn't understand what the point of that was. Request to take judicial notice under Federal Rule of Evidence 201 by Lisa Lee. It's 58, it's 6 pages, and it was a 58-page exhibit. I really didn't see the point. In the sense of, I think it's just a dumb thing to file. So, but we can go back and look at it just to skim over it and get a quick, let's see. This is my criticism of StreamYard having to, Angel, want up? Okay. Oh, it's okay. Forget that shit. Yeah. Request to take judicial notice. Respectfully request to take judicial notice of a live stream broadcast by the plaintiff on February 15th. It was basically asking the judge to look. He said something mean on YouTube. Look at it. It was dumb. Federal court update. It's just the beginning, and it's found at this link. Federal Rule of Evidence 201, judicial notice of adjudicative facts. This is, hey, Angel, please don't put that on my keyboard, because we'll end the stream, and yeah. So she puts time stamps. I will share this very clearly. Fed 2 is just the beginning. it was always just the beginning of the master plan. These freaks and fools and fraudsters and felons now will have me in their lives for the rest of their pathetic lives. Fed 2 is just the beginning. It was never anticipated for the end. Sometimes, okay, I'm going to say this very bluntly. And this is one of my criticisms of Jeremy, which not like he gives a damn, but sometimes I just think there are certain topics and certain situations where you just need to keep your mouth shut. I understand you want to tell people. I understand this is part of your life, but sometimes I feel like it's just causing more problems than it's worth. I just don't, it's okay. I gotta move you to the other side, okay?
No.
I gotta move you to this side. It's okay. It's okay, baby. It's okay. You will have me in your life for the rest of your life, and that's a lesson for you to learn. Don't mess with the wrong people. Like, sometimes I just think that people need to stop talking about active litigation. Which is one of the other reasons I don't talk about other stuff other than the documents, because it's like, well, why? Yes, it's easy content, but it's just not like, no. I just can't. All right. Let's get into 74. These are filed out of order. 173 and 176 were filed Wednesday. 174 and 75 were filed Thursday. So they're a little out of order, but I'm going in the order that they were filed. Yes, I understand that, but Jeremy should know by now that they're always going to take him out of context and try to do things. And I'm sorry, a vast majority of America, this is not limited to Hales or court cases. This is just in general. We saw it. We see it with the president all the time. We saw it with Charlie Kirk, where you say something and people snip 5 seconds of a 30-minute video, and no one does the research enough to figure out what the rest and what the context is. They just make assumptions based on that 5 to 10 second clip instead of doing the research. So going into that, it's like not a pet peeve, but like I wish people would stop rage baiting people when they know that they take things out of context. This is the societal problem, because people don't do their research to find out what the context is.
Don't.
Or do they care to find out? You went down? Okay, kiss. I love you. So it's just yes, and no matter, and even when people are presented with the truth, they still believe what they've been told by people who have nothing to do with the situation. So it's one of those situations where when you know people do it, especially to you, I would just stop giving them that opportunity. It's the TikTok effect. There's no context for clips. It happens frequently in the media. You see a headline and a 30-second clip of a speech that was 3 hours, or you see an edited version of someone's speech where they clipped together the first minute and like a minute or another minute that's like an hour and a half later, and they clip it together and people believe that. instead of doing their own research. And even when presented with the truth, people will not let their biases and their personal feelings get out of the way enough to say, oh shit, I made a wrong opinion, or my initial judgment of the situation was wrong and I did not realize I should have done my research. No one is adult enough these days and has enough self-awareness to do that. So it's one of those situations when you know people, it's my freaking one of my biggest issues, not my only issue, but one of my biggest issues with Trump. He knows people clip what he says, and he still makes these little sound bites, knowing people are going to clip it and take it out of context, only so he can get a gotcha moment. The problem is people are too stupid to care about the gotcha moment because they only hear that one portion and they get so enraged that they don't care what the other hour and a half of words that you said was. They get so pissed off at that 2 minutes. And it's just, any French recognize an error, what does that mean? Yeah, my mind is made up. How dare you try to confuse me with facts and truth? It's the, oh, blah, blah, blah. Hey, you. I'm gonna, whoop, spawn.
It would be a good idea to fucking unmute my mic.
Yeah, that would probably be a good idea.
Anyway, hello. I have arrived indeed. Greetings and salutations, peasants, Americanese, and short people. I have got so much to fucking say, but I am so tired. That's editing and everything else. And yes, people, I am alive. That job I did has knocked it out of me. It's knocked me physically, psychologically, and mentally. And it's just richly knocked me sideways. I've hardly communicated with anybody, and I do apologize. But before we go into the document, there's a couple of things I would like to say. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Autobots roll out. Not tonight, right? But
so Helder says, I'm very self-aware. Apparently I was told that was rare, which is weird to me, but then I take a step back and saw I'm often alone because most people can't stand that level of honesty.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, when it comes to honesty, look, we all know in this case, right, some people are not going to like what I'm about to say, some people are. There are sometimes you're going to lose some, sometimes you're going to win some. Okay. Now, I have been calling it, and with you and my pretty and other people, we've been calling it day in, day out. I mean, when I first came across this case, right, I went toe to toe with Deuce Boy, and where did he end up? I called it like, do you know what? If I could have the winning lottery numbers, trust me, I'd be a fucking millionaire right now.
Jason Amy says, "Be quick, Spawn, because this is the document that I really want to read."
Oh, I will not be quick. I will take my fucking time.
I'll mute him.
And I'll just leave.
No.
Right, because at the end of the day, you guys sit here, right? This is my perfect point. You guys sit there, you go, oh, fucking hurry up. We don't want to fucking hurry up. Right? But here's the thing. People like me, like Squid, like my pretty, and other people, right, are right in the fucking firing line. Only a few weeks ago, someone accused me, Squid, and other people of being in employment.
Jeremy doesn't even like me. How would he ever hire me?
I don't know. But anyway, right? In employment. Okay. Guys, don't tell me what to fucking do. Trust me, it's not a good don't even try. How can someone who spent 2 out of 4 years in federal prison thinks he's associated with the Nostra Costa or Nostra Grossa or whatever they're called, thinks that he's like, Scarface from 1978, and can't tell the truth for 1 second. I mean, that's point one. Point two, this case, you're going to lose some, you're going to win some. And in fact, Jeremy Hales is basically, his legal team are kicking ass. And the crampons and everyone else in regards to this, they're going to sit there and go, oh, we won one. No, you didn't win one. You didn't win anything. Basically, you were freaking lucky. You were very lucky. The unlucky people, because you basically took advantage of these two people's weakness, like we've been saying this from day one, you've used those two idiots as a platform to have a go at Jeremy. But the thing is, you're not gonna walk away from this unshaved. And hey, Paint Chips, I heard that threat you made. That you
All right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
However, we are going to get straight into this next document, because this is the document that I have not read yet because I wanted to read it with you guys. However, this is from Hinkle about the dismissal. Order dismissing the Second Amended Complaint and granting leave to amend further, which he underlined, which is very interesting to me that it's underlined. This is another chapter, at least the third lawsuit in this court, in what is, at bottom, a war of words. The plaintiffs, an individual and his company, allege the defendants have said unfavorable, untrue things about him. Unfavorable, untrue statements sometimes give rise to a claim for defamation. Here, though, the plaintiffs now assert only other claims, not defamation, which is one of my major issues with Fed 2, is you're talking about all the things that they've said, but you didn't have defamation in there. But that's just my personal opinion. This case is before the court on 8 defendants' motion to dismiss. The magistrate judge's report and recommendation concluding the motions should be granted, and the plaintiff's objections. I have reviewed de novo the issues raised by the objections. As relevant here, the plaintiffs have asserted statutory claims under the Florida Deceptive and Unfair Trade Practices Act, the Federal Lanham Act, and they have asserted Florida common law claims for tortious interference with business relationships and civil conspiracy. The claims are unfounded for the reasons set out in the report and recommendation, which is adopted as the court's opinion, with the following additions. Yeah, Gail says, Spawn Troopers, please stream. Trade Practice Act claims are not limited to sales of products or services, as cases cited in this report and recommendation recognize actual damages caused by a deceptive sale of a product or service are calculated as the value of the product or service as it should have been less than the value as delivered. I hate the way lawyers write sometimes, because I'm like, you could have said that, you could have put that into like 3 different sentences and it would have made a whole lot more sense. Substantial authority suggests that these are the only damages recoverable under the Trade Practices Act, even in other contexts. Some case law, but this does not foreclose a claim for injunctive relief. The plaintiffs have asked for leave to amend further if, as of now has happened, the motions to dismiss are granted. This order grants leave to amend. The plaintiffs should note well a third amended complaint that is equally rambling and unfocused. This right here, and Spawn, you can give me your input. This right here goes back to my point of somebody being spread too thin and trying to do too much.
Mm-hmm.
And not have the focus on one thing.
Yep. I mean, that's been like that from day one. I think that on a personal note, I think I mentioned this a long time ago. You know, you're biting off way too much cake that you can eat. You know, and like these taking all 10 or 11 of them and suing them all at the same time. Me personally, I would have done one at a time.
Yeah.
She agrees.
Yeah.
Would you have done one at a time?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, you. Hello.
That's
Anyway, yeah. I think the whole thing, like, you know, I'm not surprised, to be honest with you, that all this is happening, because the important thing is I said a while back, and I think we can both agree on this. It's not about those idiots. It's about Lynette and John Cook. So about Lynette Preston and John Cook. It's about Jeremy Hales, Lynette, and John. That's it. And that's the important case. And by the sounds of it and by the looks of it, the Ohio court is not going as well as many people want it to go. And this could set a precedent for the other cases, because there's already perjury, there's already admittance to, there's already people admitting to doing stuff. So now that can be then used as evidence in the other cases. But don't quote me, I don't know, but I'm sure it can. And that Deuce Boy reappeared. But the thing is, Pete, let's make one thing absolute clear. Each case is separate. You can't mix all them cases into one. One case is about the permanent restraining order. The other case is about defamation and causing damage to business and everything else. And then you got the other one about with harassment and making false statements. So, you know, let's just, yes.
Yeah, Fed 2 isn't over since Luthman hasn't gotten a pass, so just focus there. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, have you noticed that Luthman still doesn't put the suffix behind his name? Go figure.
Shocker, right? So, getting back to this, the plaintiff should note well a third amended complaint that is equally rambling and unfocused is likely to meet the same fate as the second amended complaint. And the plaintiffs wish to consider the report and recommendations conclusion that attorney's fees should be awarded to defendant Helm. Awarding fees is not yet appropriate, but a further amendment against Mr. Helm will almost surely increase his attorney's fees. And remember how I said a while ago that Hinkle is no nonsense and kind of a dick? Where Belatho tends to like tiptoe around things, Hinkle is just.
I said, I mean, many months ago when Hinkle's name popped up, I did some research on him. You remember?
Yes.
And I turned around and I said to you, this guy is going to be like fucking Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
Hinkle and I was right.
Yeah, that is a hint. Yes, I'm struggling to find the words to describe Hinkle that are appropriate. Not only YouTube appropriate, but appropriate for the little.
Dredd. I mean, the guy he will be judge, jury, and freaking executioner. So far, okay, he's stayed unbiased. So far, he's probably the most experienced judge I have seen in this whole thing. He is basically going, yep, no, yep, no, yep, no. And that's it. But if you look at Belatho and you look at Belatho, he's a magistrate, right? And with everything that's going on, with the fact that Bruce Deuce Boy didn't turn up for sanction hearing, and on multiple occasions hasn't turned up for a court case, it's Hinkle is Judge. I'm calling him Judge Dredd.
Were you able to lurk in the stream before you joined?
No, believe it or not, I am absolutely chin strapped. I have been editing since I said I was editing. I basically, for some reason, I am really tired. That whole job.
No, I was just wondering, because after we get done doing this, I have something to show you.
You can prove nothing. What?
So, Squid, you told us a month ago, Hinkle's no nonsense. You're so on point. I did my research, and other people Spawn did research, and also Jeff, being a Florida resident and a former law enforcement, is very aware of certain judges, and Hinkle's one of them. So I was kind of given a heads up, And then when I did my own research, it was like, yeah. Hinkle has been around for decades. He's made some decisions I don't agree with, but overall, he is a by-the-book judge. Yeah, sometimes by the book to a fault.
This is twice now. This is the
people-
second time that a response has been done by a judge with in between the line messages.
Yeah, Hinkle is one of those people where I'm like, if I were writing a motion for Hinkle, I would have the law or the statute that I'm using literally pulled up in front of me so that I make sure I hit every bullet point, like A, B, C, D, E. I make sure that I get it all because he will call you on it.
I think this, to be perfectly honest with you, this should have happened way earlier because then half of this, and the way, and you know, when I'm saying, like I've been saying for a long time that some people are going to be going to jail. Listening to free catch-up videos from the Hales, listening to what happened in Ohio court and everything else, I do believe some people are going to jail.
And I haven't paid enough attention and know enough or talked to enough people about, because I've literally had some people where I'm like, I'm not focusing on that. Please stop messaging me about it because I just don't care.
People have left me alone.
It's not that I don't care about the situation Jeremy is in. It's I don't care because I don't have enough time to put that on my plate, and I will confuse the crap out of myself.
I mean, we haven't spoken for a while. We need to sort that shit out.
Well, so
that job really knocked out that job has really caused a big sinkhole in my time. Everything. I need to call you tomorrow and just sit there for 20 minutes and just flap my gums until you actually either throw up, commit harakiri, or just go, wait, shut that up.
Okay. I have a 7 a.m. I have to be at the gym for competition club. And then 9 a.m. I have the gym for the workout for the day.
Listen, Lady Muscles. No, look. Whatever.
See that?
Yeah. Well, whatever. Yeah.
The big hole in my hand. I ripped
you're
my hand.
supposed to wear gloves.
So far, so good on this actually reducing my pain level. I went grocery shopping after I got done at the gym, and I was walking around the grocery store like this because I couldn't open my hand all the way. This, I'm actually, weirdly enough, able to open my hand all the way.
Are you taking electrolytes before and after?
Yeah, but I ripped my hand.
Yeah, you're supposed to chalk them.
So
you're supposed to chalk them. I told you that before. You chalk your hands before you hit the bar.
I did. I still ripped.
Navy, soft skin hand.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yes. Anywho, go on. Where were we?
Hey. So whoever is says Kathy the troll. I probably don't see that person. I probably have that person blocked. So, because I have no idea what y'all are talking about.
We all know. Oh, can I respond to that?
I don't know what people are talking about. That person must be blocked.
First of all, I do have a real life. It's called life, and I do live in a reality. Here's the thing. I don't sit on the internet and go into people's channels while they're live streaming and while they're having a conversation and trying to be rude and disrespectful. So here I'm going to do a little bit of a, do something that I've never done in this channel because I'm so see you in 5 minutes. Anyway, anywho, so
I have that person. I must have them blocked because I don't see that person's.
Oh wow, she just got 900 seconds. Oh
yeah, I have no idea. Like, I have that person is blocked, which means that person's not really that person. That person is somebody else, and only one of two people. So
yeah, the channel's 2 years old. March 22nd, 2024.
Yeah, but that that person, that's an alt account, because I have
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
idea who that is, because I don't see any of those. Yeah, I don't see any of those. Yeah, so that person's not a real person.
No, that's an alt account.
I mean, oh, there we
Hence,
go.
yeah.
I see it now that it didn't even show up in StreamYard.
An actual fact, Heidel, no, I beat you.
And Kathy, this is my life. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, you are feel free to find the exit, and don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. And I'm gonna pray for your family, because if they have to deal with you, I get to block you, or I get to tell you to go fuck yourself. Your family has to put up with you every day. Bless their precious hearts, because I don't know if I could do that and not want to kill myself.
Brilliant. Roy just went, nope, yeet.
Like, I have grips, but grips help me grip the bar, but they still don't help the calluses. And I did. I was on the round of 30. So I was on the round. I did 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 toes to bar. I was on the round of 30. So you can do the math on how many that is. It's a lot.
Yeah,
So,
the thing is, you have to remember that the circumference of the bar and your grip, right? It's a lot of people think, oh yeah, it's a normal grip. It's not, because if your fingers can touch the back of your hand when you're gripping, okay, that means you don't have a correct grip. So therefore, wearing gloves and stuff like that, because the thing is, when you pull up,
this is the first time I've ripped in 4 years. So I think I'm doing all right. But
yeah, but you shouldn't. If you've been doing it for 4 years and then suddenly you're being a big girl's blouse, right?
It was pure volume. Like, we did pull-ups a couple days ago, and we did chest to bar today, or we did pull-ups, chest to bar, and something the other day. And then today we did an up-teen amount of toes to bar. So with that being said, it was the sheer volume of hanging from the bar that my hand just was like, nope, we're done. However, we're going to get back to this.
Yeah, just
my
one quick thing.
For stupid is very low today.
Yeah, just a quick thing. Hey, Roy, I've got a different saying. It's, my level of sarcasm depends on your level of stupidity. There you go.
So I thought, okay, this is going to offend some people, and I'm sorry, but I saw a video that I sent to quite a few people where I reposted them. I didn't send it to many people, but I posted it on my Facebook. It says, I might have a vagina, but that doesn't stop me from thinking that my balls are bigger than yours.
Oh, snap.
And with that, we're getting back to this. Any further attempt to state a federal trade practice claim should allege clearly and succinctly who was deceived, how they were deceived, specifically what damage the plaintiff suffered as a result, and specifically what the plaintiffs say should be enjoined. He's laying it out for them. I mean, he's pretty much laying it out, which is one of the things that I like about these judges. Even Belaytho did this. He was not saying that I don't ever think you had a point. He was strictly saying the way you argued it is not in line with the way the law is written. So
I got one question, though.
Write it the way the law is written.
All right. Here's my question to this, which we can answer at the end. My question to this is like, yeah, fine. He's put a claim in about the loss of earnings and interruption in the. And the thing is, from what he was saying in the video the other day, is that he had a contract with Whatnot, and due to all what was going on and the fact that Bruce Matzkin contacted Whatnot and that, he lost that contract. So basically, both sides have lost income. So on a technicality, Whatnot could take legal actions against Bruce Matzkin and these individuals, these idiots. Because if you think about it, Whatnot have lost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of income, of potential revenue. If you think about it.
Hey, Dad.
Hi, Papa Squid.
Hug. Yeah. I can appreciate that this judge is literally saying, this is how I want it written. Like, hey, it's not that I don't think you have a point.
Mm.
You just have to write it a certain way.
Mama Squid's here as well. Yay.
You know?
Whole family's here. Whee.
Oh, both the parents are here. All right.
But have you noticed that there's less BS from the anti-what the hell's coming in documents wise?
I don't know. Yeah, and we're gonna get to a situation which another thing that Hinkle said that kind of proves what I said like a month ago or 2 weeks ago, something like that. Or if the plaintiffs attempt to state a claim based on a practice they said was unfair but not deceptive, they should allege clearly and succinctly what practice, what damages as a result, and specifically what the plaintiffs say should be enjoined. Any attempt to state tortious interference claim should state clearly and succinctly which relationship between which plaintiff and which other person or class of persons. This was my point. Like, you don't have to say individual people, but hey, my YouTube members, my number of super chats. Like, look at YouTube analytics and just pick one. Like, you look at your YouTube analytics, pick one, and that is a class of people. You don't have to name specific people. Like, oh, King Bob, he's not going to be a member anymore because I said something he didn't like and he rage quit. King Bob, I know you'd never do that. You're an OG on this channel. I just saw you, so I used your name because I knew you wouldn't be offended. But that was kind of my point. Like, you might not have to do it, but this judge wants it. So just suck it up. Just do it. Like, yeah. And as Squid stated before, this is where JH side needs to specify his target demographic for his YouTube stuff to include the people that would be pissed and drop from the drama. All you got to say is look at your analytics. And if you look at YouTube analytics, there's a lot. Like, I can tell who is subscribed, who is not. I can tell what devices people are watching on.
Yeah.
Like, you can just pick one. Like, my members dropped from 5,000 to 1,000 or whatever. I'm sure it's not that. I just picked numbers out of thin air.
Yeah, but for me, the importance for me, and I am going to stick to my guns, and I don't care what anyone says. For me, it's the truth to facts, and and as long as you've got integrity and your ethics and your integrity are 100%, and you show proof and facts, like I mean, I've heard people whine and complain about, they're showing documents. Well, hello, this document is an official document from the judge, and there are, with all due respect, there are people out there who don't understand the terminology. It's just like when Squid and I doing the NTSB, especially with the one that happened in Ronald Reagan Airfield, where there was a Black Hawk helicopter. And,
Allie, don't insult Marines. Don't insult the Marines. Use like charcoal pencils or something. Because when there will be more filings, maybe they need more crayons first. Don't insult the Marine Corps.
Fucking Marines are anyway.
That made me laugh. I'm offended by, and I want a refund for my 17-month membership.
I'm offended. I want a refund for.
Yeah, judges don't like to read. That's why there's a rule to the length of a complaint.
Hey, King Bob, dial 0800 complaints department.
Yeah, Alter Marine. That explains a lot.
What's your favorite color?
Red.
No wonder all the red fucking crayons.
Any attempt to state a civil conspiracy claim should clearly and succinctly, that's his favorite word, allege facts showing more than independent actions or conscious parallelism. A complaint that runs longer than 20 pages is not likely to be short and plain, as required by FRCP 8. The plaintiff should not expect more than one more chance. If I were Jeremy or Randy, because at the end of the day, Jeremy doesn't write the filings, so even though we always refer to it as Jeremy, it's really the lawyer, should print this page out. Like I said, I am that person who will sit with the rubric when I'm writing a paper for a professor, and I will write exactly what that rubric wants, and then I will try to form it into a coherent, paragraph. But I would print this page out, and I would have this page showing exactly what the judge wants before I file this claim again.
Why the fuck have I suddenly got the fucking Marine tune in my head now? What the fuck? Over there. No, sorry.
Like,
I mean,
Well,
this is the perfect example of like. I mean, I've had situations in my career where I've basically wrote out fucking service complaints and I've put hints in them. And this is the perfect example of like, hey, dude, you're fucking up. Make it 10, 15 pages. This is what you should be concentrating on, not this. I mean, it's so fucking clear. But you win some, you lose some. And you bet you any money those freaking womble gobs are going to be the cop wombles are going to be sitting on their little, I'm not a Marine. I am born and bred a fucking infantry. Have no fear. The infantry fear. Wait a minute. What's this? Mama Squid, do you ever slap her? We didn't see that. Violence. Good.
Wait, what?
Well,
I swear.
Don't blame me. They're the ones typing it, not me.
No, like StreamYard is not bringing up certain people's chats. So if you see a chat, and if I don't see a chat and you're trying to get my attention, literally I'm having to bring up the other chat because I can't.
From the holes,
like it's literally not. Nope. We're not getting on that. No.
I don't know what I've got. I don't know why. I watched the fucking. I don't. Yeah. Carry on as you were.
Because the report and recommendation already analyzes the substantive issues likely to be presented by any motion to dismiss a third amended complaint, this order directs the clerk to refer such motion directly to me, not to the magistrate judge, conserving judicial resources. So, like I said, this I would have page 3 of this order printed out, and next to me, not even on a computer, I would literally have it printed out in front of me, so I can physically touch the paper to see what the judge wants. And I would highlight as I checked those off, because that's
do you know what I find funny about this page 4? I've actually seen that page and I read it, and I actually read it 3 times just to comprehend. Right? If you read it, it says in part 3. I'll wait till the comments have gone on the screen. In part 3, it says all claims are dismissed against all those idiots. But then right after that, like a fucking hat trick, is like a fucking fireback. 4, the plaintiffs may file a third amended complaint by April 2nd.
And this is one of those things where I think certain people only read to hear.
Yeah.
And this is the part about reading legal filings that like sucks sometimes, is you have to read shit that you don't want to. You have to read the shit that doesn't agree with what you think. You can't just cherry pick and read what you want to read.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to be, the crampons and all, the whole freaking clown circus over there are going to be going, we got it dismissed. Yeah, no, you haven't.
From what I've understood and screenshots that have been posted, they kind of already did that. Yeah, it's just.
Oh, have they?
Kind of.
Oh, okay. Well, I must have missed that. But like, yeah, they're fucking idiots if they seriously believe that they're off the hook. They're not. This is just basically someone coming up for air. 2nd of April.
The good news is Thursday. April 2nd is a Thursday, so I stream on Thursdays. So,
Yeah. One thing I'm going to say one thing I have noticed, and I'm going to put my hand on the crystal ball before people get their heads in the gutters. Papa Squid. All right. Um, um, one thing I'm going to say is that the Ohio court, in favor for Jeremy Hales and George, looks very, very promising. I mean, I've been trying to catch up with it, and I'll tell you one thing. Yeah, like every single one of them on the witness stand have made even the cops messed up. And if it's true what's being said, I don't think this judge is going to be very happy at the end of the day. It's I just think it should have been approached differently. But this here, I agree with you. I don't think anyone read past number 3. And here's another thing, right? Before you even go ahead and read this, the last bit where Hinkle said that he's going to be doing the responding.
Yeah.
That took me by surprise. That did.
So, K-Bird, no, I was in that chat. The whole document was read, and it was stressed that it can be amended by 412. It is 4-2. So, not to correct you, I apologize for believing that it was kind of interpreted that way. However, it's not 412, it's 4-2. Just for, okay, yes, she did correct it. Okay. So, 4-2, so we will see. So, we shall see. I mean, I think there are valid points, but it's not about what you think. It's about how you argue it. It's also not about what you know, it's what you can prove.
Yeah.
Like, remember that. Not about what you know, it's about what you can prove.
If, Randy and his legal team, if they pay attention to these 2 documents that have come out, the last one that was like a sledgehammer, and this one that looks like an artillery piece. If they pay attention to what's written and what is actually said, and then approach it with a more like keep it, KISS method. For those mortals who don't understand that stands for keep it simple, stupid. I think that, like, hey, the crampons, if you listen to this, you're fucked. You're not getting out of this.
So the next document that we're going to get to is Hinkle's another motion from Hinkle. However, I just want to open up this really, really quickly.
Why don't you? While you're doing that, let's ask chat. What do you guys think? Do you think there's going to be? You think that the? Let me put it this. I mean, obviously it's 1 and 2. 1 yes, 2 no. The fact that they've pre-celebrated and the crampons are thinking that they've won this one. Like I said, you can win and lose some, but do you think that the next motion that comes from Randy is going to be like a Hiroshima level type of explosion, or bigger? The Tsar bomb. TSAR, by the way, Tsar. And hello, everybody. If I missed you, hello. So
before you got here, we read a motion, an order on the motion to disqualify in Fed 1. And I'm just going to show this super quick because something is said in here by Beletho that I wanted to stress, and I might stress it again. But so he says, plaintiff's motion argues the court is biased because it has disciplined misconduct by plaintiff's counsel, but has not disciplined misconduct by defendant's former counsel.
Good argument.
Although that provides no basis for disqualification, the court would note that it has already made clear the misconduct of defendant's former counsel would be addressed. It has not been addressed yet because this case is and has been stayed, and courts generally do not issue substantive orders directing people to do things in cases that are stayed. What have I been saying since like October?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, everyone should know, like, once the case is stayed, that's it. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, but I was called multiple names under the book, and people rage quit and all of that shit and called me awful things because I was biased and I was this, and I was like, no, I got common sense. You might want to find it somewhere. I'm sorry that you got your audacity on the clearance sale to talk to someone that you've never met like that, but no.
I heard that Walmart was selling common sense for $9.99, and you get buy one get one free or something.
I just wanted to point that out to you since you weren't here when we read that. That literally put it, like, I've been screaming it from the mountaintops every time someone brings it up.
That's why I haven't brought it up. That's why I haven't said anything, because I know for a fact that Fed 1 is on a stay because of the bankruptcy, and this is not going to happen.
It wasn't you. It was just general the chat.
Oh, no.
Wanting to bring it up all the time, and every single time that they ever had a problem with the judge, it would always go back to.
I hear you.
Bruce isn't sanctioned yet. Yeah, there were reasons for that, and he laid it out. He finally said it in a motion, which I wish he would have done.
Just to play devil's advocate, because you and I like to bounce off this, using that word, and you'll know what I'm thinking. It's just like a charge sheet. Basically, I can't properly charge you until we get to land. So once we get to land, you get transferred from one brig to the other. And that means then we can start getting investigated, like a CIS or NCIS will come in or whatever. However, with that comment there, that sounds to me that they are trying to remind Beliefo, hey, don't forget, it may be on a stay, but don't forget, right? The guy didn't turn up for the sanction hearing. He doesn't turn up for multiple court hearings, but at the sanction hearing, you punish one person, but the thing is, what people seem to forget, very close after that court hearing, that sanction hearing, right? That's when bankruptcy came in. That's when the stay came in, and everyone was going, "Oh well, he should be sanctioned." And unfortunately,
that's part. In my belief, this is just my personal opinion because I don't go off of everybody else's opinions because I don't have the attention span for everybody's opinions. However, my personal opinion is I think that was the whole reason behind the bankruptcy was not for Lynette's benefit. It was for Bruce's benefit. Yeah,
of course it was. It was, I mean, like, most of what's happened, this is what, and I don't care if people like it or not, right? The whole Lynette and John Cook and Lynette Preston thing was basically a platform for them to do what they wanted to do. And, the moment you get your head out of your ass, and that's generically, and start looking at this as you got two people, even though they're scum of the earth, you got two people, right, being used by another group of people who are just out for one or two things. And then once you get your head around that, then things will start falling into place. And it's very simple. And the thing is, like, it's very easy to know to catch on.
Oh, and for those of you just getting to the stream or just catching it, that was a document we read first. That was a document that just dropped today in Federal 1. Beliefo denying the motion for to disqualify himself and explaining the reasons why. And one of the main reasons in Jeremy's motion was that Randy was admonished by the judge and Bruce still has suffered no consequences. And finally, he laid it out in there that, yes, he hasn't been sanctioned yet because, one, it's on a stay. Courts don't do significant things like that on a stay. And also, a lot of times, cases don't do that till the end. There's and I was like, thank God he finally said it, because I feel like every time it's come up in chat, people don't like the judge, and they always go back to the sanctions issue as one of the main reasons they don't like the judge. And I was called, like, I had people rage quit on me. I lost like 40 subscribers. Like,
I mean, I've never
hated the fact that I said that.
I've never been concerned about the fact that Bruce Boy is going to get his nose slapped, because at the end of the day, with all due respect, guys, you have to open your mind. You have to realize that the moment a case is stayed, there's not much you can do. And why should a judge go on and on and on about it, he has to continue to he has to carry on with all the crap that's coming in on his case, right? He can't just stick to one thing and just go on about that. He has to, you know. So I'm glad that it doesn't surprise me, but okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you that dropped this morning, and for everybody just tuning in, if you want the full thing, it is the first like 15-20 minutes of the stream. However, this is Hinkle's motion or order disqualifying or denying the motion to disqualify the magistrate judge, and this is kind of the same. The first part is kind of the same thing that Belitho said in his other motion. But I just wanted to give read this last part. The plaintiffs have alleged no facts suggesting the magistrate is biased. Far from it. Judges are sometimes called on to rule against one side or the other, sometimes both, and are sometimes called on to rein in inappropriate litigation conduct, sometimes by one side or the other, sometimes both. When plaintiffs disagree with a ruling by the magistrate judge, they can seek a review by me. And when they disagree with my rulings, they can appeal to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit. But rulings the plaintiff disagree with will result not from bias, but from careful, principled analysis of the law and facts.
You see, that's the sentence that needed to be heard. It's that about principled analysis of law and facts. Don't forget, that case is on a stay. So there's the law. The facts, it's on a stay because of the bankruptcy.
Yeah, I wish he would have said it earlier, but I'm glad he said it. And this also needed to be said. Like, this is where Hinkle, like I said at the start of the stream, we will read motions and orders from Judge Hinkle that will show you why I think he can sometimes be viewed as a dick, because he's very straightforward. And it's like, if you don't like, but see, that's the thing too. This is my other issue with the motion to disqualify Belitho. They never did this part. They can seek a review by me, and they never did.
I mean, here's the thing, though. Like, right, to be honest with you, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you are not happy about what the judges do. What you should be thinking about is that the judges are actually doing their job in the first place, not like Judge Grudge, who.
And you'd be surprised at how many people in this country have no idea what a judge's job actually is. And like I said, this is not limited to this case. This is just from following cases for 4 or 5 years now. And actually watching judges that do suck at their jobs.
Yeah, you know that this whole thing can be used in other court cases in the future. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, and it probably will be. And that's one of the reasons it interests me, because I'm like, how will this set precedent for future online issues with online businesses?
I mean, the thumbnail case, the trespass. I mean, you've got 2 separate cases there. Then you've got, I mean, like, there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff.
So Renee's Retro Relics, thanks for being a member for 7 months. I appreciate that. And Pickle Tank, thanks for being a member for 6 months. It needs to come from Doreen, not Randy. I honestly, I don't know who. Probably Rand or Doreen. However, it just needs to come from someone who's actually going to like listen to what the judge thinks. And this is my criticism of lawyers. Not, like I said, when I make a criticism, it's not directed at one person. It's like the group as a whole. Lawyers in general. Sometimes lawyers think they're the smartest person in the room. Even when they're in a group of lawyers, they think they are the smartest lawyer in the room. The best lawyers that I've ever met are people who check their egos at the door, and they realize that they might be very intelligent in a certain area of law, but that doesn't mean they are the smartest person in the room.
Well, the perfect example, all you have to do is look at some people in the freaking what the hells. I mean, some of these people were lawyers at one point, and one of them is a lawyer, and they still can't, you know. I mean, if they are the way they are now, can you imagine what they were like when they were lawyers?
No.
Jeez.
But for example, Expert went to law school.
Oh,
He doesn't
if I
act
ever
like
come
he's
to
the
this,
smartest person in the room. Like
common sense.
he will fully admit, I have no idea. Like he's doing Karen Reed stuff right now, and he's talking a lot to Emily C. And he's like, I don't know this. You're gonna have to explain it to me. He doesn't act like he's the smartest person in the room, and that's one of the reasons he is very well liked
Yeah.
by a lot of people because he is humble.
Maybe a lot, maybe some, and I mean this on both sides of the coin, but and this is not an insult to people in the chat or here, but a lot of people are expecting, or they have this expectation of like, da 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 answer. No, you can't do that. You have to, when you let that ball roll down the hill, you have to watch what it hits. And with this whole situation, you've had, like, yeah. People go on, oh, freedom of speech, as long as it's not speech threats or whatever, you can say and call people whatever you want, freedom of speech. However, when you start involving people's business and livelihood and income, that's where, yeah.
Well, freedoms are one thing, and you have rights, and you have freedoms like freedom of speech, blah, blah, blah. But your rights end where somebody else's start.
Yeah.
And I think that right now is where society is lacking because we're like, oh, freedom of this, freedom of your rights end where somebody else's rights start.
Yeah. And also, there's a lot of people out there who like to dish it out. But when someone else hands them their own medication, they don't like the taste of it. So here's a bit of advice. Don't dish out what you can't take yourself. If you have, like, I always will have this saying, I am not going to dick anyone with a job if I haven't done it or tried it myself. So, yeah, and yeah, injunctions not.
And Steamboy says, could the evidence proving that Chat Bruce wanted to destroy JH in the Ohio case sort out most of these cases? I mean, it wouldn't hurt. I mean, the more evidence, and that's kind of like, I also don't want to limit people's speech. Like people get upset with me that other people are allowed in this chat sometimes that they don't like. And it's like, who am I to limit not only the growth of my channel by having people tell me who I can and cannot have in chat? That's one issue. But the second one is, why should I not let someone who loves to talk? Because the more they talk, the more they tell on themselves. Mm-hmm. So just let them talk. When you try to shut down other people's speech because you don't like it, let them talk, because the more you let them talk, the more they will tell on themselves and show you who they are.
What are you saying?
I'm not talking about you. I'm saying in general. It's a general. And that's my problem with you, Spawn, is you internalize everything.
No, I don't fucking internalize. You fucking dissect things and find like, listen, one thing that me and you have got in common is that everybody is welcome in our chat. Everyone is welcome into our community.
Yeah, my dad right here, they can dig their own grave. Yes, and who am I to stop someone from telling on themselves?
Yeah. And so, and I don't know if anyone ever paid attention. The first 6 weeks when I first interacted with Deuce Boy, he was like an open book. I could preempt exactly what he was going to do next, and then he started realizing that, like, yeah. But then. Right, I catch him out in the light, and I think that was it was quite interesting because at one point these people, you give them every chance you can give someone. Say, hey, look, this is the mistake you're doing. This is what you're doing wrong. This is what you're doing wrong, and they don't listen. They still do the mistakes. And Jeff, I really don't care if they were talking about me or not.
No, he said they're idiots. Kick someone because you don't like them. Why not kick you out and let that person remain? That's exactly what I did. That person's blocked from this channel now. Give it like a month. Maybe I'll unblock them. But I love you guys, but the audacity to tell me how to run my channel is like, a what?
Yeah.
Like,
I have a 2-week.
feedback is appreciated. Like, hey, remember to drop the link for your, the discount code for Tallow Truth in your description so I can find it. Like, hey, how about you try this instead? Like, or how about you do this? Or what about doing this? Positive feedback is encouraged. Like, I take feedback, but when you just try to tell me, oh, you should allow them in here because I don't like them. Yeah. What?
Yeah.
K-Bird, I'm going to use you as an example because you were the one that a certain person was trying to get me to block. I don't always agree with what you say. I sometimes agree with what you say. I don't always agree with what you say. That doesn't mean that you don't have the right to say it. As long as you're respectful to me, respectful to other people in chat. Who am I to tell you that you can't go on certain people's channels? Like, and the person was like, well, this person's blocked in a lot of other chats. Well, so am I. Like, I was hidden on multiple people's channels. And so were a lot of other people just for saying an opinion that the creator didn't like. So, or the creator's mods, not the creator themselves, but the creator's mods didn't like.
I mean,
so like,
I mean, there's a lot of people like don't realize that, like, yes, I derail myself quite a lot. Mine is like a train wreck. But one thing I can assure you, I read and I watch the comments very closely. Very closely.
But talking about your comment, why do people keep saying the defendants have hurt JH's financials and business? It's never been proven. Oh, I think it's never been proven because it's never gotten to discovery where it has had to be proven.
Exactly.
But I do think that, and this is my personal opinion, I do think, and this is why I never tell you who to watch. I just say I don't watch anybody else really because I just don't have time or I don't care. I will never tell you who to watch or not to watch because what you do with your time when I am not streaming, I encourage you to watch me. But when I am not streaming, I am not going to go, well, don't watch this person, don't watch that person, don't watch that person, because that is interfering with their business.
I mean,
when someone tells you, I hate this person, you should go unsubscribe from them. That right there, when they are a monetized YouTube channel, that costs them ad revenue, subscribers, possible super chats. Like, I will never do that because that is literally interfering with people's businesses. It seems trivial and it seems small, but that is literally taking what maybe $1 of ad revenue. Fine, $1 is still $1 that I earned in ad revenue that I wouldn't earn had this person not said that I did things. A certain person did that last year. I lost about 75 to 100 subscribers back then. I'll have to go look at my analytics to figure out. And that's the thing. I can look at my analytics and I can tell you exactly when certain comments were made. And I lost a lot of subscribers shortly within 24 hours after because certain person said something. That is interfering with my business. So in a way, yes, certain details haven't been proven. But when someone says, don't subscribe to this person or unsubscribe to this person or whatever like that, and it causes that person to lose subscribers or lose views, that's literally messing with their business on a small scale, but still that's taking money out of their pocket.
But
and it's one of the reasons that I will just never
Can I interject here?
Yeah.
K-Bird, can you put that comment up again, please?
This one?
Yeah. Didn't the judge say in conclude? No. It's the one before that.
Oh, the one before that?
Keep saying defendant's jail for that. Right. Okay. It says, like, why do people keep saying the defendant have hurt JH's financials business? It never been proven. He had since. Right. Okay, K-Bird, let me explain something to you. If I, for example, would contact Whatnot, right, because I am representing someone, the moment Bruce Matskin and other people contacted not just Olight that Jeremy had a verbal agreement with, but also Whatnot, they richly emailed someone who was on maternity leave about the court case with Jeremy Hales, interfering in his business. And if you actually go and watch the last 3 videos that Jeremy has put up, he explains it. He explains that the contract between him and Whatnot right? He lost that contract because of Bruce Matskin and other individuals contacting and whatnot. So that there is basically hurting, interfering in the financial and the business of Jeremy Hales. The proof is there. The screenshots and the proof, the emails exist. There is that's the evidence. They're the facts. And at the end of the day, regardless if people want to accept that fact or don't, and just want to, with the utmost respect to you and to everyone else who believed that there, no business of theirs was damaged, then I think you need to take a step back, away from, step out of the box, look at this from a distance, and see exactly what's going on. Because at the end of the day, if I phoned up Squid's employer or emailed Squid's employer and said that is me.
So
and
I'm looking at Facebook right now. Someone posted about the thing being on a stay, and someone says, but the stay is only for Lynette, not BBB and John. No, look, tell me you don't know what the fuck you're talking about without telling me. And then somebody else was like, since BBB is no longer attached to this case, I don't understand why he can't go ahead and slap him with the sanctions he deserves. Because the case is on a stay. Like, how the fuck do you not understand basic facts? Like, how the fuck? When someone says, I'm not doing anything because the case is on a stay. Well, he's not part of the case anymore. The case is on a stay. And when he was sanctioned or set to be sanctioned, and when he did those sanctions, he was still a part of the case. I'm not doing anything as long as the case is on a stay. How fucking stupid are people? I'm sorry. Like, I'm really sorry. Like, how fucking stupid do you have to be for it literally to be out in the middle of a fucking, he wrote it. The case is on a stay. I'm not doing anything. The case is on a stay. Well, I don't think why he can't do anything. Bruce isn't part of the case anymore. The case is on a stay. Like, how fucking retarded are you? Sorry, I hate that word, but like, are you slow? Like, are you mentally challenged? And is there a valid reason for why you can't understand a basic fact?
To be honest with you, I'm coming to a point now where I am so done repeating myself or trying to explain something where, one person will sit and insult your intelligence and say, "Oh, you don't know shit," and then when you try to explain it, it's like, yeah.
It's like almost too simple that it's overcomplicated.
Yep.
When something is so simple and makes so much common sense and just basic, like easy to understand, that it becomes confusing. I'm like, and hey, Gloria Bird, how are you?
Why
However,
do you think I moved away from the docs, and why do you think I just give my opinion about what I hear and see?
Well, this is why I only read docs, is because, I don't know why I was clearing my notifications and I saw that and I'm just like, oh, that's dumb. That's dumb. All right. But anyway.
The only thing I'm concerned of is there's a couple of individuals who are dysfunctional and delusional and dangerous.
Yeah, right here. Well, and it was also them talking about Fed 2, and it was like, no, the freaking sanctions were in Fed 1. Stop. You can't. People who watch Jeremy all the time and are so invested in this case can't even keep it straight, and then they're wondering why the judges can't keep it straight.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even keep, like, you watch Jeremy Hales all the time. I know, I've seen your name quite frequently. This is a comment on a Facebook page, not on my chat. But like, I know this person, I've seen this person comment frequently, and I know they're a frequent watcher of Jeremy Hales, and you can't even understand shit. And you get pissed at the judge for not being able to understand shit. I was like, what? Like, it's like,
David, I mean, I don't know if you've ever came to my stream or listened to the conversations Squid and I have had, but like I said, no, 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 everything that he says is not gospel. As far as I'm concerned, I will make my own mind up from the evidence, the facts, and everything that I've seen and researched.
Yeah. Before we go, because we are almost at the 2-hour point, injunction not to file emails. Here's another thing I wanted to bring up. and I'm glad that Judge Hinkle put it in writing,
What, your
because
index? Yeah.
I've said this before, and it's kind of been my entire point about certain things. So, injunction not to file emails. Some of the defendants have made a practice of copying me and the magistrate judge on emails addressed to others. Local Rule 7.1M prohibits this practice. Next sentence, very important. Pay attention. Pay attention, because I've heard from multiple people that, well, he didn't share the emails with Jeremy. Listen carefully. I have read none of the emails. They have been intercepted by my staff and deleted. You can't share anything with the other side that you didn't actually read. Should probably the judge have said, hey, we've been getting emails from these people, we haven't read them, maybe as like my personal opinion. But remember, just because it's not within our ethics doesn't mean it's not within the boundaries of judges. But read that carefully. I have read none of the emails. They have been intercepted by my staff and deleted.
You what? Someone from the freaking stupid clown circus is going to accuse him of lying. I bet you any money.
Oh yeah, both sides are going to be like, well, that's bullshit. Well, I am told that their tone is completely inappropriate, but the practice would be totally unacceptable even if the tone was professional. This order constitutes an injunction requiring the defendants to stop. A violation of this order may be punished as a contempt of court with sanctions, including fines or imprisonment. If the defendants continue the practice, it will not end well for them. Let's repeat that. If the defendants continue the practice, it will not end well for them.
Well, have we heard this one before? And look what fucking Deuceboy did.
They should govern themselves accordingly. It is ordered. All parties to this case are prohibited and enjoined from sending a copy of any letter or email to me or the assigned magistrate judge or to our chambers except when directly relevant to a pending motion, and then only as an attachment to the motion or a response filed on the docket. This injunction binds the parties and their officers, agents, servants, employees, and attorneys, others in active concert or participation with any of them who receive an actual notice of this injunction by personal service or otherwise.
Oh, I like Hinkle. I like Judge Dredd. He is Dredd Hinkle. Dread him.
With Hinkle, you can bank on it.
I told you he was gonna be a freaking tank.
And this is why I said Hinkle can be a dick, and he is not one to be fucked with. He is the FAFO judge.
Yeah, I mean, just doing his research on his career said enough. You remember that night when I said to you, I said, "Yeah, this guy is gonna fucking rock the house," and yeah. Look what happened.
And I do think he should take over, not because I think not because I think Belitho needs to be disqualified. I just think everybody needs to get a foot up their ass and get their back to being what this should be, and stop being stupid and for content on every which way and angle.
This is absolutely insanity. I tell you one thing, I can't wait to not talk about this.
This was my favorite one. This was my favorite one because of the way he said it. He was almost daring them to fuck around and find out. Chasing Amy, thanks for being a member for 4 months. Both sides brainwashed. Yeah, I don't think everybody on both sides. However, there is a faction that are cult-like on both sides. One side that thinks somebody can do no wrong and the other can do no right, and the same thing on the other side, that they can do no wrong and the other side can do no right.
And don't forget,
there's a truth somewhere in the middle.
All the people staring it.
But I think people have taken this so personally, and I know people love Jeremy. They've watched Jeremy for years. I get it. But also, this is Jeremy's life, not yours. When you
me
close
ask
your
you-
phone or close your computer or close the YouTube app on your
Let me ask you a
TV,
question.
you should not be thinking about what Jeremy Hales is going through, or what you should be thinking about your family and your 3D world.
Let me ask you a question. I'm giving you a slant eye here.
Can I get this
Yes,
super
sorry.
chat first?
Yeah,
Chase
go
and
for it.
Amy, thanks for the $9.99. Both the brainwashing on both sides is embarrassing. It kind of is.
And don't forget, Chase and Amy also got 4 months Tentacle Nation. 4 months.
He did write that, but I was told Tully that she said that she can still email him. I say she should email him 3 times a day minimum. I'm with that. Like, I'm with
Oh my
that.
God, she's probably
But
that
I am
stupid. She'll
also
do it.
like, I hate groupthink. I hate groupthink. When too many people start to think the same way about a topic, I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? What are we? No, we should not all be thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah.
We need to back off and like change perspectives. But I am like that with all aspects of my life.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What's the rule in, or when I stream? What's one of the rules I've got?
Don't mention other people's stuff without permission.
No.
That's one of them.
Leave your fucking emotions and your bad attitude and your bad mood on the door on the way in. And this is, I've always said, don't come with emotion, because at the end of the day, right, if you are getting personally involved, emotionally involved in this, right, I mean, you just need to step out of that box and look at this as a independent, like a witness, like someone who's watching a TV program. You're not like, yes, I know some of us watch TV programs where we get really involved in the, I know who the murderer is. Oh, I know who did it. But at the end of the day, if you allow your emotions to take over your behavior, your actions will be twice as bad. So stop it. We discuss it. We have an opinion. Some people may not like that opinion. Life is too freaking sorry.
Life's too freaking short. I'm gonna interrupt you.
There you go. Yeah.
Jean Hopper, thank you. I like your channel. I can depend on honesty and truthfulness no matter which side. Yeah, and you don't always have to agree with me. Well,
You're stealing all my
Pickle Tank, you bring up a good point, but I'm gonna spin it a little bit. So it's good, but we are thinking the same way. We wouldn't be here if we weren't like-minded. Yes, being like-minded is one thing, but we have disagreements. But we don't think the same way about everything. Just because we have like-minded and we think we have like the same thought process, if that makes sense. Like we process things the same way and take our thing, doesn't mean we always come to the same conclusion. Like, and what I think is my opinion, even though I'm brutally honest, somebody else might be brutally honest and have a different opinion. When we all start thinking the exact same thoughts, outcomes, what we want, but basically when you watch mainstream media and you can like pick out clips of different things and they all have the same like, buzzwords, when we all start using the same thing and getting to the same conclusion, I'm like,
remember that saying, the truth, you can't handle the truth? That's one thing me and you've got in common. Like, I mean, guys, me and Squid we fucking lock horns. But I tell you one thing, when it comes to actually the facts and the truth, yeah. Oh, yeah, no, you'll get it with both barrels. By the way, Pickle Tink, nice smile, by the way. Oh, look, French Psycho, nice dogs. Anyway, but here's at the end of the day, right, guys, you need to step out of the box. You need to look at this. At the end of the day, there's going to be losers and there's going to be winners. We've seen what one side is like. And at the end, and one thing I can say is that if you take one side of this coin and you look at the behavior, the actions, and the under the table, under the belt type of activity and crap they've done, then you look at the other side and you go, well, hang on a second. one's daily vlogging about what's going on in their life. The others are using two people to attack that individual. Why? Because of personal interest.
It's just one of those. It's hello.
Hello.
It's just one of those situations of like, just because I don't always agree with Jeremy and I don't like certain things that have been said or done, or that's not the way I would do it, does not mean that I don't think most of the facts, and I'm going to say not all of the facts, most of the facts are on his side. And I can understand completely why he wants revenge, why he is angry. I totally understand that. But it goes back to, just because you feel a certain way doesn't always make it legally true.
Yeah. But I mean, like, the thing is, but when you become a victim, when you are the victim of continuous harassment and God knows what else, I mean, like, there's not one person in this channel who can turn around and say, well, you know, Jeremy is not the victim. He is. The moment those two nutters moved down to Otter Creek, Jeremy Hales and George became targets. And you can watch that, you can see that pattern grow. And, you know, if someone sent me, say, for example, Snipe or Tinkle or Heidel or Papa Squid.
Pickled Tink.
Yeah, that one.
I apologize, right? Pickled Tink.
Pickle Tink, right, receives a letter. Hey, fuck, leave me alone. All right, receives a letter. Wind your neck in, obstacle. Receives a letter, and it's a cease and desist. What's she going to do? She's going to go, oh, I need to go and get my lawyer. I need to find out what's going on. Yeah, okay. All right, get my lawyer to write a letter. Yeah, thank you very much for your cease to blah, blah, blah. It was that simple. However, when it all kicked off, certain individuals who had, don't forget, Kersey, Crampon, right, were the two major, and Gualamapo, or whatever. Those three idiots were the ones who had personal contact and business with Jeremy. And those three, okay, have been in this from day one. That's what a lot of people are forgetting, that there has been like a relationship between these four individuals.
So I'm not laughing at the comment itself, but it made me think of something. It was like, I saw a video yesterday on a reel on Instagram, and it was like, it was, what's a universal sound that everybody knows, and it was the racking of a slide, and it's the sound of hippity hoppity, get off my property.
What's that? I watched it. What do you call it? What's it called? Like, someone turned around. I got a friend over in the States, like, you know, who's the cop.
Mm-hmm.
And he came out with a sentence, and then he sent me this video, and it's hilarious. And it's a woman. She turns around and she says, well, you know, I've you know, if a person comes at me, I've got a hole puncher. And then she looks at the person who's interviewing her, and he goes, oh, okay. And that's the Second Amendment, hole puncher. You're muted.
I'm not muted. I just whispered. Oh. I have more than one.
Yep.
I want to go to the range, and I wonder if we'll ever put rounds through that 1946 Nagant.
I think you should. I think you should take
the stock on that. That would blow my shoulder off. But I've never had anything with a bayonet attached, and it's kind of cool.
I think you should take the 388. I think you should take the 388 down and put a couple of rounds down range.
Oh yeah, but there's only one range around here that'll do, and it's a private club in Savannah, and it's got a 5-year wait list. So
if I lived in the States, oh my God, I would literally have a sleeping bag and a basher on the ranges the guy who owned the Rangers would turn up and there's me. Good morning, coffee. Yep.
Yeah. So getting to Buffed Old Man's comment before we do final thoughts.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I may have seen that one in another show, Reddit. All this crap is flowing together for just a TLDR for the stays and the sanctions issue. The sanctions issue is on Federal 1, which is only Lynette and John, and the case is stayed for both of them because the judge was like, there's only 2 of you. It makes no sense to stay it for one and not the other. So Federal 1 is completely stayed for both defendants.
Yep. And
Federal 2, and that's where Bruce's sanctions are from Federal 1, not Federal 2.
Nope.
Federal 2 only stayed for Lynette.
Yep.
No sanctions have ever been discussed in that, except for what the judge just said right here. A violation of this order may be punished as contempt of court with sanctions, including fines or imprisonment. If the defendants continue the practice, it will not end well for them. They should govern themselves accordingly. So
good look after yourself, Harry.
So
your health comes first, but
it's a
yeah. I mean, it's like this. I think it's because there's so much being said back and forth, and there's so much going on. And I think that the one thing I have noticed, and I mean no disrespect for this, a lot of people listen to individuals like you. They'll listen to me. We have our opinions about this. Now, our opinions may be right, may be wrong, maybe, we probably might call shit that we've done. You and I and a couple of other people have called it out many a times, and we've been right. And the thing is, people need to not take our word and go, okay, that's what's said, that's what it is. You need to make your own opinion. You need to base your observation and your understanding on what you understand and not what anyone is saying, right? Because the thing is, I could be saying so because I don't know that much about American law. I've actually learned more about American law with this than I have anything else. And like I'm still got 2 questions. Is it in the water or food, or
it's the food?
Are they handing out special sweeties?
It's the food. Speaking of food, we have to get into final thoughts because your girl has had little to no food today, and I am getting hungry.
And thank you so much for having me here tonight as well, by the way.
No problem. I figured since I was doing this that we have to talk too because the report for Bangor, Maine came out. The NTSB. If you would like to come on and read it with me sometime next week.
Yeah. I mean, there's quite a few that we need to read. There's the MD-11. There's the one Bangor. Is that the? Wait a minute. What's the one?
Bangor was the private jet that was flying from Houston to Maine and then on to Paris.
Yeah. What was that YouTuber? That woman who crashed?
Tennessee Fly Girl.
Yeah, I watched the report. Apparently, she was not very.
She shouldn't have been flying that plane, but we can get into that on a stream that's meant for that. Any final thoughts on any of the documents that you've seen today and how they will impact the case going forward?
Well, I mean, looking at the responses from Henkel and in general, basically, both documents have had messages in between the lines. Right. At the end of the day, they've got until the 2nd of April to dot their I's, cross their T's, and get those full stops done. I don't think that the crampons or the what the Hales have got any clue what's coming to them, because at the end of the day, the judge has gave them a key to a door, and if they open that door, if they seriously think that they're going to walk away from this, after everything they've caused and done, I doubt that very much. That's point 1. Point 2, when the thing that I'm concerned is the actual public threats, or not direct but indirect threats of blasés, from certain individuals I do believe that someone should, or some investigative method should be used on that, because there is now video footage of that. And, you know, also burden of proof. If you make an accusation, here's one thing you have to understand. If you make an accusation or make a statement against someone, you have the burden of proof to prove that that statement is 100% factual and correct. And if you can't do that, then it's best to think before you speak. Now, I personally have been quite busy over the last few weeks, and I'll start be getting in. However, one thing I will say is this. Please don't get emotionally involved in this. Step out of the box, look at it from an educational standpoint. Right? If you are interested in law and how judges and how courts work, then this is the perfect example how a fucking clusterfuck of FUBA happens. Because I've never ever come across something like this. Now, my final thought on this is that my opinion, Squid's opinion, Papa Squid's, or everybody else's opinion is exactly that. It is a opinion. It's not fact, unless we can prove fact with evidence, which we can if we need to. However, when we discuss stuff like this, we are discussing it. Right? We may not sometimes agree. However, a discussion is exactly that, a discussion. So don't become emotionally involved. Right? If you're having a bad day, say, hey, gotta go, take care, and go and have some decompression, go and relax. But anyway, there you go. And a big thank you to Squid for having me. And I will be going live at some point. Snipe, senior. I'm just doing editing a lot. Obviously, I've been neglecting a lot of shit. But I love you. I miss a lot of you, all of you, and a lot of you, all of you. And yeah. But anyway, Squidicus Maximus Decimus, your turn.
I'm posting my link tree in the chat because I do have the links to everything that I have, including my ETM stuff on there. If you haven't checked out my other channel, Evidence Through Motion, we do a live every Sunday night. And now that I'm sort of cutting back on the live streams on this channel, I'm trying to grow that channel a lot. However, yeah, green beans. But I just think that moving forward, I don't think that certain people will be able to help themselves when it comes to opening their traps and doing things that the judge literally just told them not to do. And I also think, and this is a hill I will die on, when the new or the third amended complaint is written, I believe they need to have all the statutes out on the computer in front of them. I believe that they need to print page 3 of Hinkle's motion or order and actually make sure that they highlight everything when they've added it to their amended complaint. Because I think then they will make sure that they get and I'm not telling them exactly, that's just my process, because then I can physically see that I've marked off everything on the checklist, because the judge gave them specific criteria of what he was looking for in that third amended complaint. And I seriously think that it needs to be concise. I'm saying 10 pages or less. It needs to hit everything, which means you need to put it in plain language and not legalese. You need to stop with these run-on sentences and make it where the common person can understand what you're saying, because if the common person can understand it, the judge can keep his facts straight. So with as much that is going on in this case, and remember, to the people watching, the judge doesn't watch YouTube. So what you hear Jeremy talk about on a live stream or in a video, or what he feels is going on, and if it's not in a motion, it does not count. Patrick, hey, good to see you. Do you think Anti will be in jail for any amount of time for doing anything done in either federal case? My hope is that these mofos keep emailing the judges, because I really want to see someone, because I know Hinkle is a very by the book and kind of a dick. And I would really like to see someone FA and FO.
I mean, to be perfect, if I may add that, like, I definitely have a premonition that at least 2 people are going to be going to jail. A minimum of 2 people. I don't know why, but for some reason I've got this. My gut has saved my fucking life, and I've never distrusted my gut, and my gut is telling me there's at least 2 people going to jail, or they are going to get slapped big time. Not physically, I'm talking about legally.
Yeah, preferably.
Yeah.
So, all right. So
Yeah.
I'm going to see, before we go, I'm just going to see if I can send you anywhere. I do know that Shizzy and Mo are not doing their normal streams tonight, because Mr. Mo was in the hospital this morning. I think I got a message saying he was out of surgery. I have to look at it, but thank you to the person who messaged me. But Flux is live. We're going to go say hi to Flux. Friday the 13th hangout. So y'all tell Flux that I said hi, and I will see you guys Sunday night on ETM. We're doing more chronic pain stuff. I'm not exactly sure what my mission's going to be with that yet, but we might do some movement demos too. I don't know. However, Spawn.
Yes.
Would you like to yeet us out of here?
Well, with absolute pleasure. 3, 2, 1. Yeah.